Hi guys, welcome to another
Hi.
episode of Diary of the Moles. And with me, I have my beautiful,
As always, you one and
my
only
spectacular, my amazing, sumptuous,
Cholugo.
Acholug one. My amazing wife here.
Yes.
And we're here again. First of all, we want to say thank you guys,
Thanks,
for all the
guys.
support we've gotten recently in our latest episodes.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. It's been very insightful, or it's been very good, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
been a blessing. You know that what we're creating on our channel is actually being a blessing to a lot of people. The feedbacks have been really good.
Yeah.
Private messages, telling us how impactful these conversations are,
Mm-hmm.
and really that's
And
why.
relatable,
Yeah,
apparently.
I'm actually relatable. Actually very relatable. So I think that's why we, are inspired to continue doing this, and that's why we're actually even doing this. I remember when we actually going to get married, we used
Mm-hmm.
to pray, that our marriage would be a model marriage for people. Because I know that a lot of marriages are struggling. A lot of people, plenty stories here and there, but we want this to be like a union, no pressure,
Of course.
nothing, just be like a union that blesses people when they see, they get inspired to be, to want to be in this, beautiful thing that God has
Space.
created. Yeah, so how are you feeling today?
To be honest, I am tired. I've had a very long day,
Mm,
but I'm here. That's
so
how I feel.
thank you for being honest.
Always. That's the only thing I
so
know.
so today we are going to be speaking much more on things that are a bit, serious, not like
Eh.
serious, but basically.
Let me sip some tea first.
So
Mr.
that's
Producer, thank
another
you so much
beautiful
for my
thing.
tea. I appreciate it.
Our producer, in conjunction with the tea woman, he brought tea for us on set today. Cheers.
To the
Cheers
great
to great
life.
life.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know you're drinking tea. That's to do. So today we're going to be discussing on being in marriage. Most times people find that they lose themselves, especially career wise,
Yeah.
business wise, in their career paths.
Hmm.
So what are the measures that you are taking, especially because yes, our fields seem a bit similar, but of course we have distinct ends
That's still
to,
very extreme.
yeah, to what we do. So what do you think, how will be sustaining it, especially with your kind of work, which you're going to tell us what you do? Maybe for some
Mm.
people that don't know what you do explicitly,
But you
give
can
us a background.
tell us your own first.
And but ladies first.
Since when? I want to
Since
hear from
now.
you first. I want to hear what you do. I want to
Ah,
hear.
don't you know what I do?
I want to find out like
People
every other
know,
person.
most people know what I do already, but they don't know what you do.
You
So
guys don't
tell
know what I
us.
do.
Yes, some
That's
people
not
don't know
true.
what you do. Some people don't know what you do.
I'm Tunde's wife.
Oh
That's what I do for a living. Just be his wife. How
my
about that?
god. No, tell us what you do, baby.
So I am, in a nutshell, I'm an artist manager
Mm.
and entertainment consultant. So I manage artists. I do artist bookings. I do entertainment consultancy. Uh, yeah, events. I do
Event
events as well.
management.
Yeah, event management.
Yeah, so pretty much that's Kemawi for you. And you already know me, creative entrepreneur, lifestyle content creator, what else? Man of many arts. But of course, you guys know that I run a creative digital agency,
Yeah.
TNT Media Africa, and also co-founder for Straight Church, and I do a couple of other things. But back to the matter. So how do we navigate through, having our different businesses and not being able to manage our home, for where we are right now?
Mm.
How do we balance it? Because there's some times where you have to travel.
I think it's more for you. Like I
And
travel,
but
so I want to know how
what's
you
your
balance
no?
it.
What's your experience first? What do you do to help balance these things? Like what are the things you put
Okay,
in place here?
so what I do to help balance is because I understand how my job takes me out of the house a lot of times. I'm home late most times. Um, the same way I would love to, I give my job 100%. Is the same way I need to give my home even 150%. So that's how I'm able to navigate it. So I'm very intentional. Like when I'm home, say when I'm out of the house, when I'm home, I try to be present, and I hope I am present. I try to be present. I try to make you feel my presence. Like, yes, I'm away, but when I'm around, I want you to know that I am around. I want you to appreciate the fact that I am around. So I do that, and I don't believe I am too busy to check on the person I care about the most.
Yeah.
So no matter how busy I am, there's always that maybe 5 minutes or just 2 minutes break. Maybe I'm trying to catch a car, or maybe I'm on the plane, and just before the pilot takes off and before all the instructions, I quickly send a message, of course, remind my husband every day that I love him. And just be present, like I never feel like I'm too busy to have time for him. Yes, I travel. Yes, I get very busy. Yes, it gets really hectic. Yes, there are times when, like, it's very difficult to plan for us, because whenever we try to plan for something, my work kind of like interferes, so we've planned something, middle of the year. We already set our dates, everything booked, hotel reserved, and next thing I get a call that I have to be somewhere else on that same day when we are actually returning. And obviously it means I need to travel at least 2 or 3 days before that date. So now we're having to spend more because of my work to change our flights and change our reservation, which I feel bad for. But it is what it is. And I'm hoping that as time goes on, it gets better.
So I think that for me, one thing that I find interesting, or that helps me to balance this situation, is because I feel like we're not individuals anymore. We're partners. And the same way my ideology towards partnering in every other phase of our lives, because with marriage, people talk about communication, you talk about finances, you talk about responsibility with your home, you talk about children, all those things. And I feel like with your business too, it should be as intimate as that. It doesn't have to be extreme. Sometimes, for some people, they might be career people where they're working in a different organization, they don't have control over so many things. But I still feel like your partner should be a bit involved, in whatever you're doing. And I think that's how I balance it, because I feel like I'm part of your business. I see you as being part of my business. I think that that's one of the things that even brought us, much more closer in our early days. I remember one of the first gifts I ever gave Kema was a business card. Was pretty much, and it wasn't just about the business card, it was me setting up a business sort of for her, that brand identity.
The brand identity for the business, yes.
Kema Oyi, talent management, and consultants, and I just went through that process of trying to push her to it, even open up an Instagram page.
It was supposed to be a thoughtful gift of showing that he cares and loves me.
Well,
I don't know.
No, it wasn't showing that.
It
wasn't to show that it was just a thoughtful gift, and I think that's one thing that we share. That we give ourselves very thoughtful gifts.
Of course.
Yes. So let's just dive a bit into the music business. What do you think is, like, what are your thoughts about the music business, from a general perspective? I'd like us to touch on because of our beliefs. Because of our beliefs, I really don't like to talk much about stuff like this, but because of where we are, and this is not a forum to argue or to say what is right or not. It's just to hear our opinions.
Just want to know what I think.
Yeah, just hear our opinions. So from a music perspective, firstly, what do you think about the landscape of music in Nigeria? What do you think can be done better? What do you think? Where do you see as the music industry in the next few years? Entertainment industry generally, or let's just say the media industry generally, and then we'll now speak on music in church. What are your thoughts? Because there's this conversation around charging or not charging, and there's been a lot of opinions and fights and conversations. So tell us.
Me, I'm just gonna go straight to the point, which is
let's hear. Let them hear at the back.
hang on. See, you said music business.
Mm-hmm.
The moment there's business, it is now value and exchange. I'm giving you value. There's an exchange, and that exchange is not is monetary value. There's no other exchange. I wish there was something else we could use as exchange, right? Now, where I'm a bit confused, in terms of whether the gospel artists should charge or not in Nigeria, is we have international gospel artists come down here to perform for whatever conferences and the like that we normally have, which is fantastic. We love to see them. We know their songs. You even just listening to the song online, you are paying.
Yeah.
On any social media platform, any music streaming platform, you are paying. You are licensing this music one way or the other, subconscious, because you're not seeing it as money coming out of your accounts directly. You are paying for those services. So it's a business. It's still a business, whether I like it or not. Now, if you decide to, this is how I see it. If you are a minister in your local assembly, and that is your service to, to the Lord, great and fine. You don't have any production costs. You don't have any like a team of people. Your team of people will probably be your choir members as well, who are also serving in your local assembly. So it's fine if the church, in quotes, the lead pastor or whoever decides to say, my choir members, you guys have been great, I want to honor you guys this way. That's a different conversation entirely. But the moment you now want to put this,
you create like a career path, somewhat,
I don't want to even say career path. The moment you decide that you want to go global, to go global, money has to be exchanged. You are going to have to sign certain agreements with certain people. There has to be an exchange because we don't have our own platform. There's no platform.
Even if we have our platform safe, I'm sure.
Like there's
because
an
money
exchange.
is required to run a lot of these things.
The studio you want, even if you say you want to do your own studio, the money has to be exchanged for you to get your mic, for you to get whatever it is you need to do to produce that music. Something must be exchanged to get it. That's how I see it. When you now want to start involving other people as well, because you can't play the drum by yourself, you cannot blow trumpet by yourself, you cannot do everything by yourself. You need people to help you. Now, these people that come in to help you are not necessarily at the forefront. They are behind. And it is a gift that the Lord has given to them, which they will account for on the last day. What you do with your gift is totally up to you. So as I'm coming to join your ministration, it is a service it is my gifts. I'm presenting it to the Lord, which from there I'm now seeing bread to eat. Okay, you will pay for that service. You will pay for that service.
This matter is long gone.
You pay for that service. So personally, salvation is personal.
Yeah.
I really don't, I'm not in the school of thought that this one is right or this one is wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even feel like God is just laughing at all of us. Like,
Ah.
you know, what
Yeah.
I believe really matters is your heart.
100%.
What are you
100%.
doing?
Why are you
Even
doing
with the money
Yeah.
that you make,
Make,
it's really not
yeah.
my business what you do with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is really nobody's business. If you decide that you want to charge 100 million for your ministration, 100 million, wow, it's nice. So
We can't afford this. We can't afford
we
it.
cannot afford it.
You know,
Good and
this
fine.
this thing that you're saying, sorry to cut you in, make me remember a popular comedian. If I say this, people will know him, but I'll keep it. He was a popular comedian, but he has become something else.
Okay.
A good something else. But if I say it, people will get it.
Oh yeah.
But
Please,
anyways,
I don't want drama.
yeah. Anyways, I remember when I was running a fashion. I used to run a fashion show. Back in the days, called the Lagos Wardrobe Exhibition, when I was still into fashion, you know, and I invited him to come and perform, you know, at the event, and it was like, oh, this is his fee. I think his fee was, I can't remember, but I think his fee was even more than the budget for the event, which wasn't bad, you know. I didn't, and personally, I didn't really have any issue with it. I didn't like look down on him or drag him or say, oh, why are you charging this? Why are you doing this? My opinion was, and I told him, I said, see, at the moment, though, we cannot afford this.
Yeah.
When we can afford it, we'll
call
come back
you.
to you.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that should be a simple, like, realistic conversation to have.
And sorry, you should also be open to, if this person says, okay, because this is what I charge, but because I want to do it as service to God, I would do like a 50% discount, you know. I think
Eventually the
that's fine
person
as well.
eventually came back and was like, you know what, God is telling him to do it. You do
See,
it.
I didn't
And
even know
we should just settle his logistics and stuff like that. And, you know, and these things happen a lot of times. And people, I feel like this. I feel like eventually this entire conversation, right, like you said, and I feel like that's where we just drop it, it's just the art, you know, is really about your heart, you know. I don't think that there's a right or wrong to this. I honestly think that the best thing that can happen to you is just know what God is asking you to do. Know what, you know, where you're grounded, where your purpose is on earth. And once you're able to figure out this, you know, God said, the Bible says that let a man that does not work should not eat. And he has also said that your gifts make way for you. You know, so eventually these are the gifts that people have. It's just like a career path. People build career paths for music. And I say every time that if Christians, as a musician, I'm a Christian and I want to be a musician, where else would I perform? As Christian events, Christian gatherings, you know. So it's up to us to now say, okay, we can't pay you this, you know. And it's up to us to also let I personally, my opinion is we have ministers and we have gospel artists. So if you want to be an artist, there are requirements of being an artist. If you want to be a minister, there are requirements of being a minister, and there's nothing wrong. People have started to sort of like,
you know what people don't realize.
Yeah. Let me finish my statement.
Okay.
Sorry. People have started to sort of like demonify being a gospel artist in a way, you know, because they feel like you're doing it for mammon, or you're not doing it for the right reason, and those are the wrong ideologies. Because there's a generation out there that is fixated on listening to some type of music.
Yeah.
And we need gospel artists. We need people that will do clean music, you know.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say that clean music.
Yeah, that will do clean music to infiltrate these spaces. This is what we did with politics for the longest. Our parents used to say, politics is for this, it's for the bad people. And so we left that and we listened to the hands of the bad people. And these bad people are the ones making decisions over our lives. And it's the same thing with entertainment. We are leaving this for the secular. You say it's secular, it's worldly. These people are making decisions over our lives. Today, everybody is out here now talking on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all these places. Pastors, everything. It's not Christians that are creating these platforms. It's not Christians. Like, We're not the ones creating, enabling, and this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be in the forefront. We're supposed to be the ones creating this kind of platform for people to fly. But because we always demonify, we always make them look, these spaces look like, oh, it's bad, it's for bad people, it's things, and then you find out that a lot of people navigate away from it. Will now later say, oh, it's because we're not truly. You can't keep throwing stone at a glass house. You can't do that. So, but
I was going to say something. I realized that some pastors actually have a proper job.
Yeah.
So if they're not making money from church, they have to make money from somewhere.
Absolutely.
And they have a job.
Absolutely.
So what is wrong in me being an artist as a Christian and making money from it?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I'm saying that.
Even the ministers, like the people in the choir, they have jobs. They have things that they do.
Yeah.
Makeup artists, 9 to 5. They tech. People actually have real career paths that is giving them money
100%.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
So if I decide that I want to be an artist in the gospel space, how am I supposed to eat if I do not?
That's the thing. So that's why our message should be.
People that come outside and act like I'm not charging. They have things they are doing that you're not aware of.
That's why our
they
message
have businesses.
Maybe that's why our message should be that people should do music that will impact people's lives. Music that will be clean. Music that speaks to societal issues. Music that, addresses, challenges. There's so many.
It's a bigger.
There's so many things that people can do.
It's a bigger picture because I think the media plays a role in that.
Yeah.
As well. We complain about so many things every day, the same story. I'm even tired of listening to complaints.
Me too. I'm actually tired of plenty. In fact, let's even move away from this conversation. I'm tired of plenty talk. Plenty talk. The next matter is music, the landscape of music. Where do we see the landscape of music? Because this is someone might be listening to this right now and thinking, as a talent manager that you are, what do you think the impact of music would be in the next few years, especially in the landscape of Nigerian music?
I think we are already seeing a shift in the what's the word I'm looking for now? Globally, there's already a shift in the Nigerian music entertainment industry generally. We now have more international affiliations. We have more collaborations. We have more people coming in. Like in December, we had a lot of international influences coming into Nigeria, and this is also as a reflection of our music. People listening to our music, wanting to know, our culture, wanting to eat our food. There's the conversation about whose jollof rice is nicer,
Ghana jollof
whose one is not nicer,
Nigeria jollof.
Our fabric, what we wear, So it can only get better, especially with the invention of technology. There's so much happening right now. At least now we're talking about the AIs that can actually produce music. You want to sound like a Beyonce, for instance. You have AI that can help you do that. You want to write music. You have AI that can help you write music.
Yeah.
So we're seeing it can only get better. I think the only thing I would say is, how are we educating ourselves and preparing ourselves for this rapid change all the time? Because I see from the time of, first you were listening to CDs, or tapes, and then now I can listen to music on my phone. Everything is digital. Like, it can only evolve. It can't go less. It can only evolve. So
how do we position ourselves?
It needs to be educate yourself. We need
I think
to
that's
educate
one of the biggest
in the business of things.
That's one of the biggest things that is lacking in so many industries in Nigeria. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to actually go to a creative school. A proper creative school. Where, the opportunities were not there in Nigeria.
Really?
And
my own
I
case
tried.
was actually different. I can never forget this. Maybe by now I'd have been a DJ. Because I really loved music. And I remember, I can't remember what class I was in, but I remember my mom, I can never forget that day. I remember my mom asking me, "What do you want to be in future?"
So now become a
I
DJ.
said, "I want to be." No, she said, she said, "What do you want to study in school?" I said, "I want to study music." She said, "What's that? I want to study music. Please, oh, well, go and sign up for nursing or pharmacy
law.
or no, she didn't say law. She said pharmacy. I know you don't like injections, so no, not doctor, but maybe nursing and chemical engineering. So you can work in Shell, NNPC, and all of that." And that's how I ended up going to sciences. But as
It's
God
not
will
for
have
you.
it,
You're not
I'm
called
still
there.
in the music.
I mean,
In
yeah.
the music industry at the end of the day.
I think that's like that's one
But
thing
you can
that we
imagine
need to.
if I had gone to like a proper music school.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Wanted.
That I think that's one thing that we
Wow,
really need to
that would have
work
been
on.
fascinating because
Yeah.
I love music so much that I wanted to I wasn't even sure about what I was going to learn, but I just wanted to go to a music school. I wanted to just learn something about music.
That's one thing that we need to work on, in my opinion. It's something that I'm actually very passionate about. I mean, that we get to a point where we build a creative school, like a proper university, where people come in and learn. They can get a BA, in photography.
You can start from like a hub.
Yeah, but my point is, I don't think that's where we should start from, because I know that I've seen.
I'm thinking about for you.
No, I'm just saying I've seen a couple of people do that. I don't want to mention names, but I've seen a couple of people set up like stuff like that. Academies, stuff like that. I think that we should go on full out
creative school
and create a creative school, like a university where people have proper structure.
Yeah.
They learn. They come to school in 2 years, 1 year. They have a degree in photography. They have a degree in cinematography, a degree in fashion, a degree in music production, so many things. I just think that we are very,
even in content creation.
Yeah, now content creation is becoming a thing, and so people learn the proper way of the business of these things. They learn, the psychology, the etiquette. I think that would really be good. That would really be good.
That creatives are not serious.
Yeah, because people see it as, and the creative industry is at the moment one of the top industries in the world. Like, and in 2030, thereabout, I was reading statistics. I think it's be worth over $500 million or $1 billion. And that's crazy. For something that was not, a founding member. It's not a founding member like the nurses, like the pharmacists, like something that came on maybe 10, 15 years ago.
We still have nurses.
And now tech is not even giving us a different dynamics to so many things, opening our eyes, to see how life can be so different. And so I think that something that we should, anyone that can work in this should look into it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there now. What do you choose anyone?
I'm just like,
yeah.
God will give us grace. God grows. I've had conversation with a couple of people, and the story always goes to the same place, the government, all those conversations, because it's a large scale, thing. And so you need to be in some spaces, you need to have some conversations, some people. We should talk about this after.
Yes, exactly.
I know that was your
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about this. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.